Welcome back to another edition of the Guerreros Azteca Podcast, a podcast where we talk about the Liga MX and everything going on around the football mexicano. And man, there's a lot going on at the moment. The World Cup is here. I'm watching the Netherlands versus Spain game at the moment. 5-1. España is getting destroyed by the Netherlands, man. But we're here to talk about Mexico. We're here to talk about El Tri because they passed their first exam. Mexico has defeated Cameroon by a score of 1-0. But it's not really the score that matters. Here's what we want to talk about, because the score should have been a lot higher than that. The amount of goals Mexico should have scored in this game, that they scored three legit goals, but we all know what happened with the refereeing. They invalidated two legitimate goals from Giovanni Dos Santos, so the final score was 1-0. But Mexico had a lot of opportunities. Right off the top of my head, I could see one of Oribe Peralta early in the second half where he had one-on-one versus the keeper, but the one that was really clear was the last one that Chicharito Hernandez had after a great recovery and pressure from Miguel Ayun stealing the ball. His pass, to be fair to Chicharito, wasn't the greatest. If he just puts it a little bit higher, Chicharito could get his head on it. If he puts it a little bit lower, it's a lot easier to control for Chicharito. Unfortunately, that's all in the past, and he missed it. So it is what it is. But Mexico played well. You know, I tweeted it. I said Mexico played, you know, throughout short periods of the game. Mexico played some good tiki-taka football. It was nice. It was nice to see them play like that. The passes were short, were crisp, were precise. Mexico, Héctor Herrera, man. Let me get to Héctor Herrera is playing out of his shoes. Héctor Herrera, you could see the confidence in him. Giovanni Dos Santos, another player that really, you know, had me satisfied because he scored 2 goals, man. He scored 2 legit goals, but even after that, I remember Mexico was winning 1-0. It was already really late in the game. You see Giovanni Dos Santos playing defense. You see him running the full length of the pitch to come and defend a cross that Cameroon was looking to send in. I mean, that type of attitude, everyone just fighting and never giving up. Giovanni Dos Santos played a brilliant game. He deserved his 2 goals. Unfortunately, we all know what happened with that, but Giovanni Dos Santos played really good, and it was surprising and it was unexpected because Oribe and Gio Dos Santos hadn't looked very good. It hadn't been convincing. We all knew that Oribe was going to start, but the debate was who's going to start with Oribe. Is it going to be Giovanni? Is it going to be Chicharito? A lot of people were thinking or were saying that it should have been Chicharito, Jimenez, or Pulido. We all knew Pulido really wasn't going to start, but Giovanni, he surprised me, and I was very satisfied with the way he played. Héctor Herrera, once again, amazing right now. The way his confidence, his ball control, his passes were very good. I think Héctor Herrera was the one that set up Giovanni Dos Santos in the play of the goal, where Giovanni shoots the ball. The keeper, the Cameroon keeper, saves it. But Oribe Peralta, siempre Oribe. He's always there at the right place at the right time. Oribe Peralta, el hermoso. He just had to push that one. Oh my God. Is Netherlands? Oh no. Okay. Netherlands was about to score the 6th goal. And I think Iker Casillas, who has had a terrible night, saved it. But anyways, we're talking about Héctor Herrera and Gio Dos Santos. So Héctor Herrera played a hell of a game. Gallito Vázquez, man. Gallito Vázquez. It's crazy how people were leaving this guy out of the list of the final 23 players. I never left him out. I personally, if Negrito Medina doesn't get injured, I would have started Medina. But Gallito Vázquez, man, he doesn't have much physically. You know, he's short. He's not very strong, obviously, especially against the Cameroon players. He didn't have a chance, but he never stops running. This dude just runs, and he has good ball control. He has good passes. Club León plays the best football in the Liga MX. Club León, the passes between Gulit Peña, between Chapo Montes, between Gallito Vázquez, they're the motor of Club León. And to have their center defensive mid, Gallito Vázquez, unfortunately, Gulit Peña right now isn't in a great moment. Because can you picture, instead of Guardado, which I don't think Guardado had a decent performance. He wasn't great. He had a decent performance. But I thought instead of, and Marco Fabian, he got close to scoring a goal. But yeah, and I wish Gulit Peña was in form right now, was in a better moment, because the Mexican midfield would be a force to be reckoned with, you know. with Gaito Vasquez, with Hector Herrera playing out of his shoes right now, and then if Gulit Peña was playing great, that would be great. Or if Mexico had Chapo Montes right now, that would also help a lot. But overall, man, I'm just very, very satisfied. Oribe, in the first half, he didn't have a great performance, but that's the thing about Oribe. He never stops trying. He never stops running. He always, and you can always count on him being there when you need it the most. When you need that goal, when you just missed a chance like Gio did, Oribe Peralta comes from out of nowhere and hits that ball 1-0 Mexico, and that would later be the final score. So overall, I'm very satisfied, very happy. The defense. Let's talk about the defense. Like I said, for the most part, Mexico played a great game. I was satisfied, but at the end, Cameroon did their final push to try to tie this game, and sure enough, the defense looked a little bit shaky. It's the damn set piece defense that Mexico has always struggled with and that we've always suffered with, man. Once Cameroon gets a corner, I was shaky, man. I was so nervous. I was like, the header is coming. The header is coming. Sure enough, one of those headers connected. I can't remember from what Cameroon player it came from, but Ochoa responded like he had to respond. Ochoa with a spectacular save. He didn't even give a rebound off of that play, but for the most part, Ochoa didn't have much to do in the game. He didn't have much work to do, because to be honest with you, Cameroon let me down offensively. I was expecting a little bit more from them offensively. They didn't generate a lot of plays that really put Ochoa to the test, but once they did with a header, Ochoa responded. Ochoa said, I'm here, I'm starting, and this is why. So all right, Ochoa, so far, so good. So now let's look past this Cameroon game. I wish Mexico picked up, I'm happy about the win, but I wish they won it by more. I wish, they won it by a 3-0, a 4-0, maybe even a 2-0. Chicharito had his chance at the end. We already explained that. But overall, I'm satisfied. Now let's look past the Cameroon game. And here comes Brazil. Or here we go versus Brazil, because Brazil is at home with their people. Brazil is Brazil. I don't know really what to expect. So I'm optimistic though. I'm not going to lie. I'm optimistic because Mexico surprised me. Mexico showed some talent. Mexico showed some light, after a horrible qualification process that we all know it was just a catastrophe. Mexico showed something that we hadn't seen from them in a while. Again, Mexico played very, very well the final friendly versus Portugal, but we all know what happened. Again, a set piece play. Portugal gets a header from Bruno Alves, and there it is. They lose 1-0. But Mexico didn't play bad that game, so I'm glad that it carried over to this debut in the World Cup versus Cameroon. So Brazil, let's just get that out here. Get that out. Brazil didn't play well versus Croatia. They didn't play brilliant football. They won 3-1, but let's be honest, the Croatian keeper, I don't know, man. I'm not convinced he's a beast. Let's just say that. He had some I thought he should have had a couple of those goals, especially the last one versus Oscar, and then he also got his hand on the penalty from Neymar, and he wasn't able to get it out. I mean, he got his full palm, it seems, and he wasn't able to push the ball out. I don't know, but the Croatian keeper, he wasn't very, very great. Let's just say that. And then also the refereeing in that game. Man, I don't want to say it favored Brazil, but let's be honest. It kind of did. I don't know if it was intentional or not. Referees are human, this and that, but it wasn't great. So Brazil, I don't even think Croatia deserved to lose, man, to be honest, or to lose this bad, 3-1. But Brazil, they weren't brilliant. Brazil so far hasn't looked very, very scary. The scary part is that they're at home. That's the scary part, and that Brazil, can score in a blink of an eye, because they have that amount of talent, and they have a player like Neymar that is a difference maker. Mexico doesn't have a player like that. So Mexico just has to keep doing what they're doing, and if Mexico could improve, if they could, turn the notch even a little bit more than what we saw today from Cameroon, I think Mexico is in a good spot. I think Mexico could at least aspire to claw a point, to steal a draw from Brazil. And why not think about it? Why not a win? Mexico has a history of giving Brazil problems, of giving Brazil trouble. So if Mexico turns it up, then I think they'll have a fighting chance, to do some damage to Brazil. I don't know if to fully pick up a win, but maybe even pick up a draw. 1 point, 3 points we'll find out. We'll find out how well Mexico plays, and you know, hopefully the refereeing has nothing to do with this next game versus Brazil. We'll just have to cross our fingers and hope for the best, right? So yeah, I'm optimistic, man. Final thoughts right here. Mexico showed good stuff. They showed us hope. They showed us why we should believe in them, because they played some really, really good football, some solid defense. And you know, I'm optimistic to see how they're gonna do versus Brazil. And even if they pick up a loss versus Brazil, then you still have that Croatia game that is gonna be, I think Croatia and Mexico are very, very evenly matched, and that'll be a hell of a game. And surely whoever wins that game will advance to the next round. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, man. Let me know what you feel about the Mexican national team, about El Tri after this first game versus Cameroon. What are your impressions? What are you happy about? Are you optimistic like myself? Or do you think the Mexican national team needs some changes? Maybe take out Guardado of the starting lineup and put in Gulit Peña or put in Marco Fabian. Let me know what your impressions, what your opinions about this first game are in the comments down below. Let's get the discussion going. I love that, man. I love that about these podcasts, because everyone starts chipping in the comments, and it's just a great discussion about football. You know, different points of views, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that's it, man. I don't have much much else to share, so I'm gonna cut it right here. I know it's been a little bit shorter of an edition of the podcast, but I will be making these more often, especially because not right now we're in the World Cup. I still need to make one talking about the Liga MX, the transfers, man, that happened in the draft. So definitely I'm looking forward to making these more reoccurrent, more often. But I'm also going to summer school, so my time is a little bit tight. But anyways, man, thank you guys so much for watching. Like the podcast if you want it to continue, and if you're happy about the Mexican national team. Again, let's get the discussion going, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out, bros, and as always, take care. Que viva el fútbol. Vamos México. Oribe, I love you.